And I'm heading out for this 30-mile round trip in this Porsche Cayenne Base. This is the base trim that most people are shopping for. And my goal here is to see what is the real world miles per gallon in this Porsche Cayenne Base. Now I live very close to the freeway, so I'm gonna kind of mimic my typical commute, from home to work and back from work to home. So I'm gonna literally just, drive as I would without pushing the car to its limits, just in a regular normal mode. Now this Porsche Base Cayenne Base does not have a Eco Pro or anything like that. So it's just a normal mode, like a normal driving mode, normal chassis. And that's what we have. And I'm obviously not gonna push it. And also I'm not gonna try to drive super slow. We're gonna stay with the average highway speeds to see what is the fuel efficiency like. Now, official figures are a little bit scary, to be honest with you. In this car, the CD is 17 and 23 for the highway. I mean, honestly, this is like the worst in the competition, right? I am doing a lot of comparison to the BMW X5, and you can actually watch my dynamic drive review where I do a full driving review of this vehicle, and I kind of reference BMW X5, as this is the car that people kind of cross shop, right, when they're shopping for Porsche Cayenne. But in reality, these are two different vehicles. So I'm gonna talk about a few key points in my drive, and then at the end of the video, I'm gonna reveal what is the real world miles per gallon on this vehicle. Let's go. All right, now we are merging the highway, and the first thing I really wanna quickly talk about in this car while we get a chance is the Porsche driving dynamics, right? This is something I kind of gonna talk more in details. I do talk more in details in my dynamic drive review, but what really impressed me and surprised me in this vehicle is how smooth and how connected this car is. Now the base Cayenne is just literally your way to get into the Porsche family to experience this vehicle. Like, it does not have a crazy dual clutch transmission. This is your typical conventional ZF transmission. It does not have a crazy V8 twin turbo engine, right? This is a single turbo V6. So this is for you to get a taste of the Porsche. Like, even when you're just cruising alone in this vehicle without pushing it to the limits, you already feel the smoothness of this car. You feel the steering response from this vehicle. It's crispier than the X5. X5 is more tuned for comfort than this, even though this is a pretty comfortable car, but it's a bit more sportier, it's a bit more stylish. I would say not even a bit. It does everything in a little bit different way, the Porsche way, which is a very kind of upscale, which is very unique, I will say. So Porsche has a very unique signature to its cars, which I unpack more in my dynamic drive review. So it's a very, very pleasant cabin to be in, with a very classy, modern, upscale cabin. And the ride is just amazing. Very good sound insulation, very comfy seats. The steering wheel is a little thin to my taste, but you can obviously spec this Porsche as much as you want. But overall, anyone driving this vehicle will really see why there's so much hype about Porsche. I mean, even the base Cayenne has a taste of that, and it's in this entire package delivered to you. All right, let's keep moving as we recording our MPGs. All right, and I just did halfway. I'm going back, so we're 50 miles in, and now coming back home. And then I'll be revealing my total MPG in this car. So the other thing while I'm driving back, I quickly want to talk about is basically, I like how Porsche keeps their heritage, going right through the years. I mean, we are in 2024. This is a refreshed Porsche Cayenne, and I really, really, really like how they keep the classy of the Porsche in here, and as well as modern tech together. So this is where I criticize BMW. As much as I like BMW, I have BMW X3 M40i, but I really don't like the new language that they're using, overhauling everything, getting rid of the buttons, pretty much changing the entire look outside out, like the exterior, interior. Of course, some of it they're keeping, luckily they're keeping the driving dynamics of BMW. Although I'm gonna check out the new X3 M50 once I get a chance. But coming back to Porsche, is that here it is. I'm driving a 2024 model. 2025 is pretty much the same car. We have two screens, right? I have a separate screen in front of me. It's a fully digital screen, which is fully configurable. Like, I can put all the round dials in my screen in front of me, and this is how the Porsche used to be. Or I can just put a navigation map. It's pretty much similar to Audi. But basically I get a chance to, you know, either go for like a classy looking screen, or I can modernize it as much as I want. The bottom line, I have a separate screen. The Porsche is not chasing that stupid race for putting the curved screen everywhere and putting all the stuff in that screen. So you have a separate screen in the middle, which is very kind of classy looking. It has all your stuff that you need, you know, navigation, everything is easy to find. And most importantly is your climate control menu, right? It is at your armrest, right? And you have your toggle switches where you can, you know, set your temperature, your airflow levels, you know, basically all the stuff you need for AC. And then they're not buttons, but they have a haptic kind of feedback. Your heated seats, you know, it's all right there, just like I said, under your armrest. And that's what I really like about the Porsche, keeping it super modern, which looks pretty well today in 2024, but at the same time they still retain that classy feel of the interior, making it very upscale. So kudos to that. Now, one thing I highly recommend you get the premium package, because the Bose sound in this is fantastic. I've rented the Porsche 911, spent some time in that car with my wife also. We both love the audio system, even though the 911 doesn't have the great sound insulation. Well, here it is in the Cayenne. It's a fairly good sound insulation, and you will enjoy that the Bose audio system. It sounds pretty well. I'll say it's on par with the Harman Kardon in BMW. So, you know, just happy with this cabin overall, and let's keep going. It's time to reveal our MPG figures. And I'm just finishing my trip. I just completed 30 miles round trip. I'm about to go and park, but basically, let me reveal it to you right now as I'm exiting the freeway, and it is 25.7 miles to the gallon. So to make it fair, I want to go ahead and, you know, get to my place and park, so that mimics the real commute, right? Because you don't leave on the freeway, right? You do drive a little bit in the city. So I'm gonna go ahead and park and summarize and give you my final thoughts. And there you go, guys. I just finished my round trip. It actually ended up being 31.3 miles. Usually it's around 30 miles. Not sure how is it 1 mile more. But anyway, it's exact same route that I typically do for other cars. And there you see it, 25.4. Well, it was 25.5. I'm still running the car for AC. So let's call it 25.5, a real world MPG. This is literally me driving at the highway speeds. And basically, even there was a time when I had to slightly slow down for a very short period. So this is a typically mimicking commute. So yes, it is possible to get more than claimed 23 MPGs, and typically I'm able to do that in all my reviews and in my personal car. Whenever I drive on a highway, I typically exceed those if I'm not pushing the car. I think where it's really going to struggle is in the city. I think in the city it's going to be very, very thirsty. Part of that, this car does not have a mild hybrid that the BMW X5 has, which makes a very smooth kind of operations with the start and stop for the engine. Also with the mild hybrid, when you cruise, there's a lot of times the engine just shuts down, and that's not something that this car will have as well. And also this has a 21-inch Spider wheels, which is much bigger wheels, and they will also affect the MPGs about 1 or 2 miles to the gallon. Well, the X5 that I drove on the channel also had 22-inch wheels, much bigger wheels than this one's. Also wider wheels, staggered wheels. The rear were wider, and yet it delivered 31 miles to the gallon. So that kind of tells you how efficient BMW engines are. But even if you get this Porsche Cayenne Base, Yes, it's thirsty engine. I wish it was better. I was hoping to get 27, 28, but I got 25.5. It is what it is. This is what you pay for getting, you know, Porsche Cayenne. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have this car? What is your fuel efficiency like? Go ahead and share that, and you can watch my other video where I give you the full driving dynamic review, basically the experience of this Porsche Cayenne Base. What is it like driving it if you were to go ahead and buy one? And I'll catch you later.